comment? Nope. All right, so the only action item we have today is the approval of the May 6 minutes. Hopefully everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes, and if so, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Do a second,
I'm sorry, second. Those are, see, we don't have to do second
Yeah,
in our
we're just
committee
roll right
meetings.
on through.
No, we don't, we don't need seconds to our committee
She
meetings.
got it.
Okay, got, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. So here is the finale, or not the finale, but the feature of today's meeting are Brad Miller's June board agenda updates. And the floor is now yours, sir.
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
morning. So, in your packet is the draft board agenda, but the main item this month will be the presentation of the fiscal year 27 draft budget. And that will go to the finance and planning committees also the week before. So some of the items that are on the agenda will affect that budget. Namely, the health insurance contract is on the agenda. We're gonna have a workshop this Friday here in this room, starting at 1 o'clock. Hopefully will not be 2 hours, but it will be sort of the, we're hoping, working with Debbie as we speak on how our 27 budget and 26 budget are looking. We've made some decisions that hopefully we'll be able to be within budget. I'm sure we'll be within budget. It's the impacts of it. And we're gonna have some breakout tables at the workshop after Debbie kind of gives a layout and I have a context piece and I'm gonna show some of the benchmarking, the latest benchmarking data. Then we'll do breakouts talking about our route efficiencies and where we might wanna make some changes to that. Nicole Dufa's gonna lead that. And then Debbie is going to have a table talking about the state legislative property tax reform impacts to PSTA. And then Bonnie, our mobility director, is going to have a table on changes we wanna make based on the last board meeting on mobility and paratransit. We have some ideas on making some adjustments to the way those programs work together that I think will be good. Good for our budget and still good for the riders. So that's the plan for Friday. And then we're really hoping to get some good input from the board members that attend that and to quickly turn around and include in our recommendations on the budget. Of course, related to our property tax and services that we provide. So hopefully you all can come on Friday.
Okay, so yeah, I'll be there. Now, you know, the last budget workshop we had, I had so much fun. We're not doing any of that. We were productive, but we had an awesome time. Are we doing any of that?
We're gonna have the 3 breakout tables to get input on some, I think, cost saving measures. And of course, the property tax is on everybody's mind as to how, I would love to know how all of you are looking at it, handling it, get ideas. And kind of where we're going with that, that's huge for us in the future. So I think it's maybe not as much fun as other things, but very
Well,
important.
I guess fun really wasn't the word. It wasn't stressful, but it was productive because that's when we started having the conversations about our contracts, when we realized some of the expenditures that we possibly could have looked at to
we'll have some of that.
alleviate. And so when I use the word, I guess because I didn't want it to be so formal, maybe that's the word that I was looking for. I wanted us to be productive. I want us to make sure that we understand that it's business, but I just didn't want it to be as tense as discussing budget workshops that I've been to in the past. So the one that we've done last year was not of that same mentality. So I'm hoping that, Friday
We'll
we
make
could.
it fun. We'll give you
We're
some.
definitely wanting to have a good discussion and input from everybody, and I think that's what you're maybe
Yeah,
implying. And
that's important to me.
yes, there will be a few PowerPoint slides at the beginning, but we'll keep them to a bare
I
minimum.
always try to be politically
minimum.
correct. Y'all just don't know how many words I eat. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was politically correct.
You can snooze through Brad's, just listen to mine, that's all.
Okay.
We
Okay.
do that all the time anyway. Business as usual.
And then, as I said, so these, all these items will go to the finance committee and the planning committee the week before. But the biggest contract that PSA has is our health insurance contract with Cigna. And that has been quite challenging because their opening number was an increase of 15%. That Debbie and Trish have gotten them down quite a bit, which is good. And then in our labor agreement with the vast majority of our employees, there's a requirement that we consult with the union on the health insurance and the amounts that we ask the employees to pay out of their paychecks. And since that number is going up, James and I have a meeting with the union the week after the workshop before the finance committee. So, and then James has already had some conversations with him about it, but we're trying to negotiate with the union on what we can bring the health insurance number finally in. That'll have a big impact on our budget, but hopefully they will be, supposedly they're seeing the same news that we're seeing. Hopefully they'll be on board.
So with you saying that, Brad, with the healthcare contract that's currently now on consent, are you gonna have anything to update more so at the 24th?
Well, it'll certainly go to the finance and planning committees for discussion, and it probably will be. It certainly is a key part of our overall budget presentation that is the on the main part of the agenda, but that'll probably be an action item since it's such a big contract.
And that was getting ready to be my request, is because of the impact on the
Yeah,
budget,
no,
could we
probably
take
not
it
on
off of consent?
The other item that's kind of related to that, it's kind of ironic, odd that it's at the same time, is the contract with the benefits broker that negotiates with Cigna. Their contract is up for renewal or a new contract. I know Al had an interview yesterday.
At the evaluation committee yesterday.
Okay, yeah. And then our cable contract with Spectrum and then our phone contract with Ring Central, those will go to the finance committee. Hopefully, it's looking positive. A settlement, a claim settlement with Clearwater Ferry incident that happened a year ago. And then a number of contracts, most of which are not related to funding, with nonprofits in Pinellas County. We have these transportation disadvantage agreements where we have either fair payment agreements, or in some cases, the local coordinating board in Fort Pinellas has allocated funding for these nonprofits to buy a van. And Bonnie will go through a pretty long list of contracts that are for renewal, but none of them are, I don't think there's any cost impacts to any of them.
You're correct, sir.
And then the big item is the budget. Like I said, I think we'll be able to at least hopefully balance it, pending health insurance and a few other things, but and then hopefully see if we can have some savings so that maybe we can reduce the tax rate some.
Well, I can tell you today that there are two that I wanna pull from consent. And that definitely is the healthcare and the Clearwater Ferry one. Clearwater Ferry.
Yeah.
Any other commissioners?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So,
I didn't know.
so what the legislature approved yesterday, I didn't see any explicit references to special taxing districts such as PSDA. It seemed to be mostly for counties and municipalities. Did I miss something, or does that?
It does impact our the special districts as well.
Okay.
You know, it prior to yesterday's amendments, it has a significant impact. We were at 17, going down by 17 million the first year.
Okay.
Then progressing down to about 24 with the changes with the school being brought out. We're now looking at a 15 and then $22 million.
15 and 22.
It's huge.
Okay.
Is that from the property appraiser
Yep.
thing? He has a,
15 to what?
22
Just thinking,
in
I'm
the
sorry,
following
Fran.
year.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, and Ron,
Yeah.
at our legislative committee that just happened, Ron did confirm that, yeah, it affects special districts. All kinds of special districts.
It'd be interesting to see how how Lynx figures that out, because they don't have any taxing authority. The local governments buy in on the level of service that they
Right.
want. So if they can't use any property tax for those specific purposes, that's gonna create.
Now, the good thing was Ron said, you know, the bills called out what property tax could be paid for and included the word infrastructure.
Right.
And that was confirmed by Ron and the FPTA. That includes all kinds of transportation, including transit. But that is a impact to PSDA, I mean, certainly much more to Lynx than us, but we do have over a dozen interlocal agreements with cities, municipalities in Pinellas to provide funding for different services, like the service in St. Pete Beach. They're not in PSDA, so they pay us for the hours of service in their city. Same thing with Treasure Island. Same, Clearwater pays for spring break. Dunedin pays for the ferry. All those, I'm sure we're gonna have meetings with all those cities about the impacts of this property tax impact.
Right.
Because, you know,
So fingers crossed, it's just going to referendum, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have any other item from the consent? Okay. Brad already spoke about the budget update. Open discussion, Commissioner
Well, I was just
Sheridan.
hoping we could get a little update on the ferry. If they bought it yet,
yeah,
people ask me all
thank you
the
for asking,
time.
Commissioner. I would like to yield the floor to my friend, Mr. Burns.
Good morning, Madam Chair, good morning, Commissioner Al Burns, Procurement Director. I'm extra motivated, getting ready to go on vacation. And part of that, Brad held my vacation hostage, if I didn't get the boats, I couldn't go, so I've been incentivized. No, all jokes aside. Last week, we signed the purchase sales agreement for the San Juan Clipper. That is the vessel that is located in Washington State. Yesterday, we concluded negotiations around 2:30 with WIDA, the owner of, or the former owner, I'll say, of the Bay Breeze in San Francisco. Legal, BMO and I, we're just reviewing to make sure everything that we mutually agreed upon is done. And at that point, I'm very optimistic that before I go home today, that Brad will have signed the purchase sale agreements for that boat as well. So, like my colleague Lucian and I like to say, bottom line up front, we've secured both vessels.
awesome.
The next step is we're sending out a contingent led by Mark Hubbard, contingent on all insurance being approved by Diane Randall, our risk director, And everybody's behind the scenes, as I said in here, working diligently to get that done. But the hope is next week, a contingent consisting of Mark Hubbard, the project manager, will go out to Washington, do a inspection, a survey, and a sea trial on the vessel. After that, we will pay for that boat, and as soon as the money's deposited into escrow, then we will sign all the closing documents for that. The very next day, they'll head down to San Francisco and go through that process again. We're in communication with the shipper to secure a vessel to put both the San Juan and the Bay Breeze on a boat to get them over to Fort Lauderdale. Mark Hubbard and I have been in communication where we're trying to, based on the survey, we're gonna have a couple of shipyards that are gonna bid on the repairs and the refurbishment of both vessels. That, looking at two different places, maybe here locally in the Tampa Bay area, or looking probably the refurbishment will happen in Fort Lauderdale. After that's done, we'll bring the boats here, and then marketing and transportation and Brad, we'll put them into service.
So to be clear, we've hired a ship to ship our ships to the shipping yard.
We have not,
The
the project manager would love that, because the shipper's shipping ship.
The ship gonna ship the ships, okay.
We have not secured that. I asked the team not to get ahead of our skis. We have a tentative placeholder, but I didn't wanna secure anything until we got confirmation that both vessels are seaworthy and we accept.
Right.
Once we accept, then that's when I'll pull the trigger on securing the shipper, to ship the ships.
The ships,
I want a
okay.
picture of the ship with
I
the
know.
ships shipping to
The
us.
ships.
I was kind of wondering that, I'm like, are these ferries gonna go all the way down through the Panama Canal and come all the way up?
Can we ride that
They'll be
ride?
worn out by the time they get here.
They open up in the back and you drive them in and they float them, and then they pump the water out.
One of the unique challenges I will say is the Panama Canal. It is backed up severely. The shipper did have a conversation with us yesterday that might be a delay in the auctioning off who goes first, second, so be curious to see how that goes, but that is one bump in the road that we might encounter, but
Okay, so excluding that potential hurdle, what is the time frame of the Bay Breeze? Cause that's the one that needs the least amount of work, correct?
that is correct.
Hopefully both boats are pretty good shape.
Well, both boats are in good shape,
There had to
but
be some retrofitting and all that other kind of stuff that the Hubbards wanted to do.
for the San Juan, yes ma'am, the Bay Breeze is, it won't take as much work. If you're looking for a date, I don't have
No,
one,
not a date, just tentative.
I say December.
Okay.
Hopefully by the end of the summer, the boats will be in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds wonderful. Because we still
Our
have the-
summer or which
Didn't work.
summer?
You said who's summer?
We have summer till October.
Son, it didn't work.
Up north has summer till July.
Is,
So who's summer?
I was shooting for December,
do we know,
Commissioner Scott said it didn't work.
does St. Petersburg have its permits in place and a temporary dock ready to
That
go?
I can't answer for
They
you
do.
today.
They have a contractor and for the temporary dock.
In the temp, but
If you've been to downtown St. Pete in the last week or so, you've seen that they're having this Red Bull high dive competition,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Where the permanent ferry dock is gonna be, and they did a whole bunch of dredging.
now
It's
I
gonna
missed
help.
that.
It's
Oh, there you
it was
go.
money.
Good, I'm glad to hear they're doing dredging.
Because they
Wonder how they
dredged
got
it
the permits to
deeper
do that.
for the
Oh,
divers.
For Red Bull.
I don't know
I
how they
think
got
that's
so
gotta help
quick.
us down the road.
Oh, okay.
First thing I was thinking is that water's not that deep off the.
It's not. So they the last couple of weeks, they've been doing a whole bunch of dredging for the diving.
Good.
right where the permanent dock's gonna be, so,
There you go.
yeah,
Sounds good.
That'll be fun. I'm gonna do that. We'll go there.
I didn't even see
September
that
1st.
included in the beach and
September
nourishment doc.
1st is
I was
when the
dredging for
temporary
that.
dock,
think the Reds will pay for
is, I think, planned to be there.
I guess I need to do some homework on that, cause I had none. I had not.
Red
had-
Bull has wings.
Yeah, they do, true.
With two eyes.
They got something.
Ooh,
With-
they got something.
Gotta have the 2 eyes and wings. Okay, so that's your update on the ferry. I don't know if you wanted to at least tell the other executive committee members about Spare, what was it? Spare?
Oh, well,
The
thank you.
conference that PSTA hosted. We were the host.
We didn't really host,
Well, they gave us credit.
they did, they gave us credit, the software company that PSDA uses for dispatching all of our paratransit rides to PSDA Access and Uber and Lyft and does our eligibility and everything is this company called Spare. And they're a pretty innovative software company in paratransit because they were really the first software that fully integrated all these companies into one software, so that our reservation agents, when they're talking to people, they have to give the customer the choice. What would you like to take today, Ms. Alexander? And then they say, oh, well, and the question from the customer is always, well, which is gonna get me there fastest, or which is gonna come fastest? So then they can see all this on the screen, and then they can see, okay, you can get an Uber, or you can get a Lyft, or PSA Access, or whatever, in 10 minutes, they can tell them. That's what Spare does. Anyway, they had their users conference, their software users conference for all of their customers around the country to learn about their new things. And they were welcomed to Tradewinds St. Pete Beach by PSDA Chair Deborah Sanders. She came down and gave a great intro to these software geeks, transit geeks in the audience,
You were, yes,
and
that they
kicked
were.
us off well.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good conference. And the reason why I really wanted you to share that is because, again, PSTA is so much more than just transportation. And I just never cease to take the opportunity to share all the things that we actually do. I don't know everything, but I'm learning something like on a regular of all the different pieces that are moving to keep us the number one transportation organization in the company. Does anyone have anything else that they would like to talk about, add, move forward? I don't see anything else. I didn't have anything else. With that being said, you enjoy your vacation, sir. We appreciate you for giving us your time. And I have 10:23, so today's executive committee meeting is adjourned.
Last time.
It's been elsewhere.